Hopefully the face detection works. Okay, sync. Hi, today I want to talk about my journey and how I started from a full-time designer to a freelancer and give you guys a bit of an advice on what is the best way to make the jump. This is a video I would have loved to see before I started out, so if it's something you are interested in, make sure to watch this till the end. Nowadays, a lot of people are looking more and more into becoming freelancers. And to be honest, it kind of makes sense. The job market is different from how it used to be for the baby boomers, for example. As millennials and Gen Z, we are not that familiar with job security anymore, and I think you can relate to that as well. And creative people, especially us, we hate doing repetitive tasks and working on the same projects anyway. So if you think about it, freelancing for us as creators, it kind of makes sense. My journey started back in uni, when I was about 20-something years old. I started doing bits and bobs, working on 99 Design and Fiverr. I tried opening my own small business, creating business cards and flyers for small businesses, but unfortunately I did not have enough experience in design or running a business, and things did not end up that well. So after doing a bit of research online, I decided to move to the UK and start working full-time here in London. My plan was to try to gain as much experience as possible, and to do that, I had to go somewhere where the competition was high so that I can push myself into becoming better at my craft. Now that I look back at it, that was probably one of the most important decisions I made so far. That year, I was eating, sleeping, dreaming about design. That was my sole purpose. To learn as much as possible so that I can grow as a designer and as an entrepreneur. Even now I remember falling asleep with my laptop watching YouTube videos at 3 o'clock in the morning because the next day I had design presentation and I had no idea what to do or say. So in that period for me, YouTube was my best friend and my mentor. But slowly things started to pick up and I was getting better and better. Also, Sketch came out. I think I was amongst the first ones to use it. But when I saw what a huge time saver it was, I just ditched Photoshop in a blink of an eye. So things were getting better and better until one day when I had a contractor or a freelancer coming to our office to do some dev work. And he parked his car on High Street Kensington in central London. If you don't know what High Street Kensington is, it's a pretty central area and it's pretty posh. I won't forget that moment when I saw a fellow colleague of mine parking in a white convertible Beamer in front of the office. That to me was mind-blowing. Back in those days, because everyone was using public transport, the fees for parking and congestion charge were way too high to be able to afford a car. So we started chatting and he told me how it's like to be a contractor and how much money was he making daily and how much money you can make as a designer. As you can imagine, I went straight back home, googled everything that was to know about contracting as a designer in London, and here I am a few years later parking my hybrid white Merc in Westminster, just like my previous colleague who inspired me. But just as an idea to see why I reacted like that, back then I was making 30k a year and he was making 550 a day. But I have to be honest, I had a bit of luck because I had my partner that could support us while I was quitting my job and adventuring through the realms of freelancing for about a month before finding my first contract. For those who don't know what a contractor is, he is basically a freelancer but works on a contract basis for a limited amount of time and he charges a daily fee. But to do this in the UK, you have two options. Either one, you become a self-employed but you pay more taxes, or you can open your own company and hire an accountant to do the taxes for you. You can do your taxes in your own company as well, but that is a huge headache and I don't recommend it at all. Plus, you're making a lot of money, so you can afford to hire an accountant anyway. The risk about contracting is that every time a contract ends, you need to find another one. However, for my case, the most I've been between contracts was around a month. After I quit my job, I've been a contractor for about 3 years, until I decided to take it a step further and start my own agency. The shift happened in my third year. when I had a lot of projects in addition to the contract I was having. And I kind of burned out. I was working around 16 hours a day, weekends and so on, to deliver the projects in time and to make sure that the quality is there. But now I mostly do my own projects with my digital agency. I subcontract freelancer developers and sometimes designers, but I also do some consulting, contracting every now and again. The thing is, as a conclusion, at least in my opinion, is that being a UX UI design freelancer or consultant, it's far better than having a permanent position. But, and there is a but, and this is very important, if you crack under pressure or if you don't love what you do and don't have that hunger to constantly improve your craft, you're better off with a stable job and a slower pace. The competition in freelance is huge. You have to know how to sell yourself and your craft and be able to learn while you're on the move. You constantly need to know the latest technologies and use the latest tools just so you can get an edge over your competition. As an example, I would have around 1 to 3 days to learn about the business and the product that I was working on. And on the 4th day, I already started working on some new designs and strategies where we could make some improvements. But after all this, you still have that fire in you, and I hope you do. These are the 6 steps I advise you to take before making the jump. 1. Quit your job only after you put some money aside to be able to sustain yourself for the next 6 months. If you already have some freelance projects along with your full-time job, that's even better. But if not, just make sure you have at least 6 months of runway before you make the jump, just so you're safe and you don't risk anything. The second piece of advice is to set up a company rather than becoming a self-employed. You pay fewer taxes and it's better if you want to further develop yourself or get some more people in to help you out. The third piece of advice is to talk to a recruiter that only recruits contractors rather than full-time. They will advise you on the market status and the daily fee you will be able to get. The fourth piece of advice is to have a top-notch portfolio. You need to appear like you know what you're doing. Also, now remember, you're selling yourself as a business. It's not enough to showcase yourself as a doer at the interview. You need to be a problem solver, a solution-oriented type of person. Because these companies don't hire you to create beautiful designs, they hire you to help them solve a problem or to help them increase their revenue. That's why they're willing to pay so much for a consultant or an expert. The fifth piece of advice is to sort out your finance before making the move. Remember, as a freelancer or a contractor, you won't be getting any paid sick days or annual leave, so you need to take those into consideration for your daily fee. My last piece of advice is to have some fun. Make some connections. Give it your best. You are promoting now your business. So the better you promote yourself, the better you become, the more projects you gain, and the more you can spend in your company, which is a great thing. That's pretty much for it today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also turn out the notifications so you can see when I'm posting the next video. And let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? Do you prefer to have a full-time job or are you working as a freelancer? Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Take care.